This past Monday, the Democrat-controlled Massachusetts State Senate voted 30-7 to limit qualified immunity for police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and more, all who were once unanimously hailed as heroes through the COVID-19 crisis, until it became politically advantageous for progressive Democrats to villainize these same great people as a result of the actions of a bad cop in Minneapolis. The changes outlined in this dangerous, politically motivated bill are not only totally unnecessary, but they will cause financial harm and ruin to those individuals who put their lives on the line every day to make sure we are safe. Massachusetts Rep. Ayanna Pressley and Senator Elizabeth Warren, both notorious police-hating progressives in league with Black Lives Matter's push to defund and dismantle our police nationally, strongly urged our state senators to include the elimination of qualified immunity for our first responders and municipal workers in the state bill. Rep. Seth Moulton has voted for even more harsh hamstringing of police with his signature on the U.S. House version of a national police reform bill, so we know that he also strongly supports this direct attack on our police and public safety officials. Shame on these federal officials for pushing their radical agenda on the Mass State Senate, and shame on all of the state senators who caved to the mob and voted for this terrible bill. This is clearly a blatant political move aimed at satisfying the most radical elements of the Democrat Party and public as the November elections near. While I agree with some of the bill's other common sense provisions, I do not support its misguided purpose, declared to be, quote, an emergency law necessary for immediate preservation of public safety. This bill will not provide public safety, but will massively violate it, as we see crime rates exploding all over the country wherever progressive supremacist Democrats are in control, defunding and dismantling our police. The Mass State Senate argues that black and brown citizens are being unfairly targeted in the Commonwealth, but this is provably false. There is absolutely no proof of police racial bias in our state, and the data shows that minority populations are not being killed at a greater rate than white populations. There is, by the way, no systematic racism in policing nationally either, and the data proves this. Of the 56 deaths over a period of 7 years in Massachusetts, over the course of many millions of interactions with the police, the majority were white, more whites than black and Hispanic combined. Of those listed as the so-called victims of police violence include a cop killer and one of the Boston Marathon bombers. This is political malpractice at its worst, and will guarantee a rise in violent crime and force many of our finest police officers, firefighters, and others to walk off the job to avoid the risk of personal financial ruin for performing their jobs within their guidelines. We must not allow this bill to pass the Massachusetts House, and we must stop every effort by the radical leftist mob to attack our public safety officials and put us all at great risk, all for their twisted political motivations. This is John Paul Moran for Congress, and I will always stand for law and order, our police, and our public safety officials. Please find me and support me and my campaign at johnpaulmoran.com. Thank you.